Rich people, they're just born that way. And there's no chance I will ever be rich. Guys, this is so far from the truth. Becoming rich is not rocket science. Is it difficult? Yes. But there are certain traits, characteristics, and most importantly habits that the rich and wealthy follow that allows them to accumulate such wealth they own. And the great thing is these habits are actually quite simple. And that's why in this video I'm going to share with you the 8 money habits of the wealthy. Now first and foremost, they invest. It goes without saying, and if you're a subscriber of this channel, which I appreciate very much, you obviously know that I'm very passionate about investing, personal finance, and really using your income and making it work for you so it can grow over time. And that's exactly the foundation of how the rich build their wealth over time. Because if you trade time for money, you can only build up a certain amount of wealth. And once you get older, it's even harder to trade that time for money. Because with age, you're going to be less productive, meaning you earn less money. So they find a way to put that money, what they earn, to work. Put their capital to work and make the money work for itself. And that's where investing comes in. Now there can be so many different types of investments. It really depends on the demographics, which part of the world they're from, the age bracket, their risk tolerance, but very commonly is real estate investing. That's been over the years proved to accumulate wealth. Another very popular and safe investment strategy is putting your money into ETFs. Recently I started also building up my ETF portfolio because I really see the long-term perspective of ETFs developing. You're basically buying into an entire country's economy and betting on that. People like Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest person in the world, even himself, he puts a significant amount of his wealth into an ETF. So if they do it, why wouldn't you? There are so many other investment classes that they invest, but just remember one thing, you won't get wealthy without investing. And they're certainly not putting half of their income into Shiba Inu or Dogecoin, I can assure you that. Because that's more gambling rather than investing. And they really make a point from when they're young and starting off that they dedicate a certain portion of their incomes, of their profits, of their earnings into investing, and they put the money into investing first rather than as an afterthought, as many other low or middle income earners do. They pay for all their daily expenses, but only in the end they see how much I have left over, and they might put the balance into investing. And that's the wrong approach, because doing that you often find enough reasons to even spend that money because you want the latest gadget or something else. So really make it a ritual to spend at the beginning of the month once you get your money or your income or your profits, whatever it is, and really commit to spending it towards investing. Second point, they avoiding debts. Now don't get me wrong, they're obviously using mortgage and certain loans to acquire real estate, grow their business, etc. But what I mean is they will never go into debt for consumer items. And that's where the difference is between the normal and the wealthy. Because I see a lot of people who take a loan even to go on holidays. Now I understand that financial situation might be tough, but if you have to take a loan to pay for your expenses, that's not a good approach, because you will be hit with huge interest payments on that debt. And often you will pay for the following months a big amount of interest that you could have used towards investing. And that's exactly where the difference is, that the rich, they're using mortgage or loans towards their investments because their financing costs on a mortgage, let's say 2 or 3%, is lower than what they will cash flow or get on their returns on that real estate or their other asset class. They may get up to 10% return at a 2-3% cost of debt or mortgage, which gives them a balanced 6-7% profit from that mortgage, versus the average person paying for the next TV that they so desperately need to watch hours of Netflix with their credit card, on which they will spend for the next few months up to 10-15% debt payment, which is crazy. So really be conscious about that and differentiate between consumer debt and investing debt, aka live a frugal lifestyle. Now, of course, when you think of wealthy people, you see the big yachts and the helicopters and the fancy hotel suites. Definitely, there are a lot of people out there living the lavish lifestyle. But when you really look at the ultra wealthy, they're often the exact opposite. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Like him or not, but the way he dresses already tells a lot. He doesn't have to wear a big Gucci shirt or the latest Chanel shoes. He has a very simple wardrobe, which basically consists of the same shirt and same pants without any logos. And the same with Warren Buffett, Elon Musk. A lot of those ultra wealthy, they don't have to show how rich they are. And they're actually pursuing more meaningful purposes in life rather than showing how rich they are. And when you look at brands like Dior or Louis Vuitton and all these fancy designer brands, they want to be perceived as a brand for the wealthy. But most commonly the ones buying are those who can just about afford it. So they can buy it and show the world how great and rich they are. Now I'm not generalizing here, but you get my point. Basically, if you need to impress your friends by the brands you wear, you need to really ask yourself, is this what you want in life? And secondly, are those the right friends? Because if I need to impress them with the brands I wear, Are they really my friends? I leave it for you to judge, but just be aware that rich people live a frugal lifestyle, minimalistic, less is more. They buy quality stuff, which totally makes sense, but having one Ferrari or 50 Ferraris doesn't give you 50 times the happiness. Point number 4, optimizing your taxes. Now there are 2 things in the world that are certain.
Number 1 is death, number 2 is taxes.
Now there's no way around it. I mean, there are a few countries in the world where there's no taxes, but most countries in the world have some kind of tax system. And while most of those countries have a progressive tax system, meaning the more money you make, the more you have to pay, those ultra rich, they always find a way to optimize it. Now you might find that morally good or bad, I'm not here to judge, but know that being able to control your taxes and optimizing them are big drivers towards exponentially growing your wealth. In some countries you pay 50% of your income towards income tax, so you don't really have much left to spend or invest. And that's why, again, the wealthier you get, more of your income and your wealth comes from investments, because those can be tax optimized. Things like real estate or stocks or business expenses, which can be tax deducted and written off. Even you may be able to create a freelance agency for your side hustle, and once established, be able to write off your next travel as a business expense. So there are a lot of ways to optimize your tax situations, save more in order to invest more. Point number 5, they're always looking for additional income streams. Now trust me, wealthy people don't just depend on one source of business, because things happen. Certain markets go up, others go down, certain industries shut down, others boom. So you want to be diversified. So they will never only rely on one source of income, because if that industry got hit, they would lose all of their income sources. So in order to get wealthy, you need to diversify your earnings. Now I understand if you're young and just graduated, you can't really open 10 companies in 15 different countries. But what you can do is starting a side hustle. And that can be a YouTube channel, that can be an online business, whatever it is. Start small and then scale it up over time. Because even if you're a successful influencer, that's great, but the algorithm can change, or the company could go bust. I mean, we've seen that with Facebook, right? Facebook has been on the up, now they're being criticized, they're trying to rebrand. But if Instagram one day disappears, what do all these influencers do? So that's why they start to also diversify, and you should do the same. Don't just rely on your job's income. There might be another slowdown on the world economy, your company may fire you, and then you're left on the street and only then start looking for a job. So don't be caught in that, and also it gives you the freedom to really choose where's your passion. Don't over depend on one source of income, but diversify into more streams. Some of them, of course, can be from investments, such as the rent you get on your real estate or the dividends from your stocks. That's part of diversifying your income and super important in building long-term wealth. Point number 6, they seek mentors. Now that might sound surprising, because you think to yourself, well, if they're the richest in the world, who's going to mentor them? Why do they need a mentor? Obviously they know everything, and that couldn't be further from the truth. They are so smart that they know what they don't know. And that's once again the difference to so many starters, because they go into new ventures or markets or investments thinking they know it all. And we see this in some of the altcoins where they have no idea what's behind the technology and they just blindly trust the process and put their money. Whereas the wealthy person really seeks to understand the big picture of any given situation. They know that the world is dynamic and constantly changing. What they knew in the past may not serve them in the future anymore. That's why they seek mentors, advice, feedback. They're some of the most avid readers in the world, because they know learning from others and seeking knowledge from people smarter than them will help them to continue to grow and further build their wealth in the future. That's why I recommend you, and I do the same, look for your mentors. And a mentor can be an online coach, from podcasts, learning from books, or even following a YouTube channel such as this. And I really appreciate if you give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, guys. So don't think you know it all, because trust me, nobody ever knows everything. So keep learning, keep growing, and seek advice from mentors and people smarter than you. Point number 7, they don't follow the crowd. Now it's very easy to get sucked into trends and following the crowd and the herd, right? And that's what most people do, and that's what we were raised up with. By following the crowd, we're kind of in the safe and we do what everybody does, and we're not like social outliers. Wealthy people, on the other hand, they try to separate themselves from the herd and instead focus on creating their own herd, and then later on get others to join. By doing so, you get others to invest into you or help you to grow your business ventures. And you can really capitalize because you're the creator of it, right? Versus being the last one who invests at the top of the meme stock hype or buys the next dog coin at the peak before it crashes. So try to distance yourself from the herd, see it from the outside, and see how you can use that. Warren Buffett had a great saying for this. He said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." And that's very true. And the last point is they practice consistency. Because all the points I mentioned before are all nice and good, but if you do them only once, there's no point. The difference here is that rich people and wealthy people do this consistently, day after day, month after month, year after year. Because building wealth is a bit like going to the gym. Because if you only go once a week for 5 hours, there's no effect. You're better off going every day for 20 minutes. And the same is true for building wealth. You need to follow these habits consistently, day after day and make them part of your routine. And that's where the average person falls off. They get excited, they start investing for a while, but then they don't see a return. The market maybe tanks, which does happen. It goes down. They say, oh my God, I'm losing money investing. I was trying to follow Kai's advice. It didn't work out. I lost money on my Bitcoin and now I better cash out and never invest again. And that's exactly the mistake you should be avoiding. The benefit of compound wealth building comes with time. Compound interest needs time. And that's why it's important to start early and be consistent. And over time, you will see your wealth starting to explode. So there you have it, guys, the 8 money habits of the wealthy. After watching this video, I really wish for 3 things to happen. Number 1, of course, smash the like button. Number 2, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. And number 3, and that's most important, take one of those habits and really try to practice and follow it for at least 1 month. Because if you do something for 1 month, you start building a habit. So be conscious about it, commit to one habit that you're gonna follow for 1 month and do so without fail. And let me know in the comments which of those habits resonated most with you and that you wanna give it a go. Next, watch the video over here. As always, I thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.